do you think, Guy? You want to do the honors?
What do you want me to do?
Plug it in?
Yeah. No.
Holy shit.
You are good.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
She knows who to fire.
Holy shit. I can't believe it. I really, really, really can't believe it. It was all a capacitor.
Yeah.
They wanted $14,500 for a new capacitor. They wanted $14,500 for a new capacitor. System's running, bro.
That's the problem.
That's what we diagnosed, yes. Bow!
Fire that.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. It is Friday, July 3rd, 2026, and it is 104 degrees out right now here in New York, and I am not in uniform, and I just got a frantic call from a very close, dear family friend. Their air conditioning went out. They felt bad calling me because they knew that we were closed for the weekend, but they got an astronomical price to replace the system, and he's like, nah, I gotta call Mikey. Let's go see if we can take care of it. By the way, only you get this kind of service.
Why?
Look, I'm not even in uniform.
Oh, you know how hot it is in here? I'm
It's hot as
dying.
balls.
Yeah.
All right, what did they tell you was
All
wrong?
right, so it's a very complicated situation.
Why?
The compressor's out there to the right. Do you
Yeah.
want to see that?
No, tell me what's wrong first.
Oh, I don't know. You think I know what's wrong?
What did they tell you was wrong?
It's a very old system. You're gonna have to go upstairs. It's behind the boiler, and it just every year it gives me another issue. And then suddenly this year it stopped today in the morning on the hottest day with my clients here. And usually they could fix it with like some sort of, I don't know, antifreeze, is
Yeah.
that what it's called?
Freon.
Yeah, but that's the problem. It's totally off now.
Who turned it off? They did?
They did, I guess. He comes to me every year this way, I know him. And he's pretty honest. And he's
Okay.
like stating it every year, but I think this year it's just on the blank.
All right, let's go see what you have up there so I don't die up in this attic.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Oh, man, it's way over there. You have a boiler in the attic.
Right.
You weren't joking.
No.
Damn.
And it's behind the boiler, right? Is that what I'm...
Yeah, it's behind the boiler, all right. Yeah, it sure is. Oh, man. All right. Here goes nothing, folks. Is there a light up here? Yes, there's a light. There's what?
Can you bring your guys to help you here?
We're closed for the weekend. Let's see what you have over there. You got a ream. Relax, it's a ream. Oh, man. All right. We have a ream. 115 volt ream. Yeah. You got a boiler up here. I can't believe it. There's a boiler in your attic. And there's water on the floor of the boiler. All right. Let's go see what you got outside. Ow. 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 Let's see. So let me guess, you replaced this after Sandy.
I didn't live here. I bought this when I was divorced. I bought this house like 9 years ago when I was divorced.
So they said the compressor's shot?
And I basically work from here. Yeah, they said it's shot. Breakers.
Let's see if they
They were
turned.
playing with it. I don't know.
Let's see if they turned off any breakers. Because right now there's no power. I just went to the circuit breaker panel, and the breaker for the outdoor condensing unit was off. I shouldn't have turned it on, but when I turned it on, it instantly tripped. So right now we're going to test for shorts to ground. I'm going to set my multimeter to read continuity, like that. Setting looks like. This right here, that's our load going to the condensing unit. This red wire looks like it's not being used. Okay, we have ground. So if I do ground to ground, right, we have continuity, right? If I do ground to L1, or sorry, T1, I have no continuity. And if I do ground to the other one, we have nothing there either. So let's take a look. So essentially what I just confirmed, that there are no shorts to ground from the electric panel to the unit. Now let's see if we have a short to ground on the unit itself. So let's take one wire on ground. That could be a ground there. You know what? Let me use the alligator. Right. See, short to ground. See, we have continuity, right? So there's L1 going to our contactor, L2 going to our contactor, and here is T1 and T2. Does not appear to be any shorts to ground with that, but the breaker did instantly trip. Let's see. Oh, is there anything missing here? Let's see. This brown wire, they removed it from the contactor. See? That's smart. Disabled the unit from running. Okay. But why is there no shorts to ground here when the breaker instantly tripped? The contactor is not closed. The breaker instantly tripped. So it's not like the compressor or something outside is shorted to ground. I wonder if there's something wrong with this breaker. I'm not paying attention to troubleshooting steps. The circuit breaker, the 115 volt circuit breaker, and the circuit breaker panel was off. So is that other breaker for the outdoor unit. The outdoor unit is now not physically connected to the circuit anymore, but the breaker still instantly trips. And we have 24 volts here, and the air handler fan is running. Here's the disconnect, okay? Forget about these wires for right now. Here's our incoming power, right? And here's the outdoor unit. We're not connected, right? See, it trips instantly. Well, let's just say I made a phone call to My Electrician, who I always take care of. And let me tell you what I mean by that, and then I'm going to tell you what's going on right now. When you find a good tradesman, you take care of him. I've used this one electrician. His name is Guy. I've used him many times, countless times. And every time he completes a task for me, whether it's putting under-counter lighting in my home or running a circuit for a ductless system, in a client's home, or converting from 110 to 240 volt a circuit before I start installing ACIQ systems. By the way, their air handlers, the PAH air handlers automatically switch between 110 and 240 volts, just plug and play ready out of the box. If you're an HVAC contractor, go to aciq.com/Mikey Pipes. Learn to become a dealer for free. Mention my name on your first order. You're gonna get a giant bonus on your first order. You're gonna be like, I'm flying to New York and meeting Mikey Pipes to give him an attaboy myself. That's what you're gonna do. Every time I use Guy for any electrical issue, by the way, the clients love him, and every time I use him, he gives me the bill, and I was like, Guy, come on, right? So if it's like $400, I give him $500. If it's $200, I give him $250. If it's $300, I give him $400. Always take care of him. Always take care of him. I just called him when I realized that the breaker instantly trips the second I turn it on and this is disconnected. Either the breaker is bad or there's a short in the line going to this unit, right? I call him up. It rings. I go, oh, God, thank God, guy, you picked up. He goes, oh, boy. I was like, I feel bad even answering it, asking this question, but do you happen to be near Oceanside right now? He goes, I'm in East Rockaway. Why? I was like, I tell him what's going on. He goes, give me about 15, 20 minutes. I'm finishing up here. I was like, fuck yeah. I wired my thermostat back. The cool is on. Cool is set to on to a lower temperature than what it's needed to be. My contactor's pulled in. Hear that hum. I didn't check to see if there's any refrigerant in here, but let's do that right now. That would all be a moot point if there's no refrigerant. No, we got refrigerant. EPA is gonna find me. Double. Joking. That was nitrogen. You didn't see it. Let's wait for Guy. Adventurous while I'm waiting for Guy. That's the 30 amp breaker. Here are those two conductors going outside, the red and the black. Right? Red and black. But here is the red. So why do the conductors change? Right? Why do the conductors change from there to here? Let's try something here. Okay, now. That's weird, right? See that? Weird. A little bit of phantom voltage on there. So now I'm freaking curious. All right. Yo, what the hell? Hold on a second, man, this can't be. We have power here. Yo, this can't be, bro. What the hell is going on here, man? Oh, man. I just took the thermostat off the wall. I don't want to turn it off because I don't want to wait for the thermostat delay. I plugged in my disconnect. The unit now has power, so if the contactor closes, the compressor should fire up. And I tested the windings on the compressor, so let's see what happens. There goes nothing, folks. Hey. I hear a hum. What side, folks? Power's off. You notice how these screws are not all the way in? Right, like just like holding it there. That's the brown going onto fan. I want to take this bad boy out of here. See what we got here without getting zapped. Wires don't go in there. Oh, that red wire's in the way. Hold on a second. Let me just short these out. Okay, good. Alright. Herm. Yeah, we'll figure it out. 5/5. I mean, it's 50/5. Okay. Comment the fan. Nothing. Okay, I'm reading the sticker right there. The fan has a 5 capacitor. The compressor. Whether or not it's a 50, I don't know, but let's go get another 50/5. Capacitor flip. Nailed it.
Yeah, that other breaker is UF,
Yeah.
and it's underground burial, so it may be to the backyard for something. But it does trip immediately, even though it doesn't show any short.
Okay.
And it's not the breaker.
Well, this capacitor reads nothing. All right. Imagine if they gave her a $14,500 estimate for a dead capacitor.
Well, that's what I see on YouTubes and stuff.
You want to do the honors?
What do you want me to do?
Plug it in.
Yeah.
Bzz.
No.
Let's see what happens.
I already buzzed the other breaker.
Okay. Bzz.
You gotta go in there.
Holy shit.
You are good.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
She knows who to fire.
Holy shit. I can't believe it. I really, really, really can't believe it. It was all a capacitor.
Yeah.
They wanted $14,500 for a new capacitor. They wanted $14,500 for a new capacitor. System's running, bro.
That's the problem.
That's what we diagnosed, yes. Bow!
Fire that company.
All right, I have to ask a question.
Yeah.
That way we're all on the same page. This air conditioning company came out here today.
Yeah, just now, before you came.
Okay, today, because your air conditioning wasn't working.
It
I
dropped
felt
that
like
today.
it was dropping and dropping and dropping
Okay.
and dropping.
And they came here to diagnose. How much time did they spend here?
5 minutes.
Not that long.
Okay.
10 minutes.
And did they give you a bill for the time here, or did they give
Yes,
you?
I paid him $275, and he was going to put it towards the $14,000.
Okay. So there is a circuit that I thought was for the outdoor unit.
It's for a different wire.
It goes somewhere else. He doesn't know where it's going.
Right.
But he's putting it back together. But
Right.
it's a dead circuit. There's something
Yeah,
wrong
yeah,
with that circuit.
Right.
So I was under the impression for the first half hour of being here
That
that
was
was the circuit. So I'm dissecting that circuit while I'm waiting for him to show up, the electrician.
Okay.
But I was like, you know what? The wires leaving the circuit at the breaker are red and black, but the wires outside are black and white. And there's an extra red one. I was like,
That's what confused the shit out of you.
yeah, so it was confusing me, right? So then I was like, let me just test the power outside. And there was power. The power there the whole time, right? So then I was like, you know what? Let me turn the system back on and see what happens. And the system wants to turn on. You hear the hum of it trying to start, but it won't
So it
start
doesn't
because this capacitor, which
Right.
I'm going to call a spade, a capacitor, which I pay $20 for and I charge $300 for, is dead. Completely dead. So imagine your kids have a toy. It runs on a 9-volt battery, and the battery's dead. Your kids are bitching and complaining to you like, Mommy, Daddy, give me a new battery, right? That's what happened here. You don't need to buy a new toy. You need a new battery. Now, does the system need to be replaced? You should plan for replacement, right? Because it's just to your best interest to have new energy efficient equipment, high performance, blah, blah, blah.
We're selling the fucking house.
So there you go. But
I get more
guy,
value.
look at it.
I took care of him.
I gotta give some commentary here, and I don't want to come off like they tried to bamboozle the woman, that needed a new system for $14,500. Right? Now, this is how I left it with the homeowners. Right? I spent the first half hour of this service call you know, with this trip breaker, which we thought was for the outdoor unit, right? But the whole time, the dual capacitor for the compressor and the condenser fan motor was completely shorted out and reading 0, right? So that's where we're at. What the hell's going on here, people? Come on. Come on, drive. It's just people are not courteous behind the wheel of a car. So let's say the homeowner left the system running, right? And the compressor and fan motor are trying to start, right? They're overheated. They're in thermal lockout. And this company comes out, and as they said, spent about 10-15 minutes there, said that, you know, oh, reset the breaker, trips instantly, you need a new compressor, the system is dead. Here's a quote, bing, bang, boom. I get it. It's 100 degrees outside, and they're probably doing service call after service call after service call, and possibly, well, not possibly, I know that they misdiagnosed the system, but I don't know what the diagnosis was. All I know is that they gave a quote to replace the system. We don't know. So let's give everyone the benefit of the doubt. We're not naming any company names. I know who the company is that was there. I think I'll probably reach out to the owner over the weekend. I have his email address, and I'll just give him a rundown of what I saw, and maybe he'll take that as some coaching and training for the guys. Because listen, at the end of the day, I spent a half hour there fixated on this trip breaker, to the point where I actually called my electrician, who happened to be one town over, and showed up, as you saw.